Your Honor, permission to treat the witness as hostile. Mr. McBain, when you were still on the police force, were you assigned to investigate my client?
Your client was a person of interest.
Once again, were you assigned to investigate my client?
Assigned? No, never assigned.
No. Were you assigned to investigate whether or not Dr. Saybrook was still alive?
No.
No. In fact, weren't you repeatedly warned by none other than the mayor himself not to pursue my client?
Yes. Then again, the mayor's an idiot.
So is it safe to say that your relentless pursuit of my client is personal? And that before Dr. Saybrook was presumed to be dead, that you and she were lovers?
Objection, Your Honor. Mr. McBain is not on trial here. His previous relationship with Dr. Saybrook is irrelevant.
Your Honor, I am simply trying to find out Mr. McBain's official sanction to pursue my client.
Overruled.
Mr. McBain, before Miss Saybrook was presumed dead, were you and she lovers?
I'm pretty sure that's none of your business.
Did you and she have a personal relationship?
Personal, yes.
Mm-hmm. And when you thought that she might be alive and living with my client, were you jealous?
Definitely not.
Not even a twinge of jealousy that the woman you were in love with was living with another man?
Not of her own free will.
You assume that.
I don't make assumptions. There was no issues there because she wanted to be.
Okay. When you obtained a warrant to search my client's home, did you find Miss Saybrook or any proof that she was there?
No.
Did you let it go?
No.
No, you didn't. Why not? Because you hate my client, don't you? Because you're sleeping with his ex-wife. Because you once slept with the plaintiff.
Sustained.
So you decided Todd Manning was guilty, even with no proof of wrongdoing.
And again, I was right.
And you defied a contempt citation by pretending to hang yourself in prison, knocking out a guard and escaping, all in order to storm my client's home without a warrant. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's all correct.
So, when Miss Saybrook finally saw you, was she happy?
Leave him alone! He got me out of that nightmare, and that's all that matters.
Order. Order. Restrain yourself, Ms. Saybrook, or I will have you removed.
Oh, that would make this experience complete.
Mark.
Put me in a jail cell while you exonerate Todd.
That is it. No more.
Okay,
Just sit down. You need to sit down. You do not want Todd to win like this. Now, come on. Just take a deep breath. Come on. Just sit.
Continue.
When you arrived at my client's home, what did you find? Was Miss Saybrook trapped? Was she chained to the bed? Was she bound and gagged?
how did you find me?
It wasn't easy.
When you crashed through the window, did she say, "Thank God you're here. Todd's been holding me against my will. Please save me"?
Objection, Your Honor. She didn't recognize John, and she had no idea
Was
who
Miss
Todd
Saybrook
was.
happy to see you?
Initially, no.
No. Is it safe to say that she was frightened?
Yes.
Of what?
Suppose of me.
Amnesia. Dr. Saybrook didn't know she
And
needed
then
to be
you
rescued.
shot the bodyguard my client had hired to protect Miss Saybrook. Is that correct?
Manning kidnapped Saybrook. That made his guard an accessory to kidnapping.
Was Marty hurt in any way by Todd?
Physically, no.
Was she saying that she was in need of assistance, that she hated Todd?
Objection, Your Honor. Counsel is creating a false picture.
You heard the witness, Your Honor.
Overruled.
When you arrived to save the day, did Marty say that she couldn't wait to get out of the house, that she hated Todd Manning?
No.
What happened after you shot Marty's bodyguard?
Let's go. Get out of
Miss
here.
Saybrook picked up his gun.
And what did she say?
This is ridiculous.
Your Honor.
Answer the question, Mr. McBain.
She said, "Stay away or I'll shoot."
What happened next?
We spoke, and I realized that she had lost her memory. That she didn't know who Manning really was. She didn't know
And
who I
during
was.
this conversation, did she put down the gun that she was holding on you?
During the conversation, no.
And then Todd Manning entered the room. What happened then?
He wanted the gun from Miss Saybrook, and at that point, I pulled my gun on him.
Oh. And did my client, in return, pull a gun on you?
No, Miss Saybrook did not give him her gun.
So let me get this straight. Miss Saybrook had a gun pointed at you. You had a gun pointed at my client. Is that correct?
Yes.
So the only person that was unarmed in the room that night was my client.
Objection, Your Honor. Is there a question here?
Sustained.
If, Your Honor, my client was the only person in the room that night that was unarmed, who exactly is the victim here?
Marty Saybrook's the victim.
Your Honor, I submit the police report from the night that Mr. McBain invaded my client's home. My client was unarmed. Mr. McBain beat him senseless. He landed him in the hospital with serious injuries. If there's anyone who should be brought up on charges, it's the ex-cop turned vigilante, John McBain. Yes, you... When you swung into Marty Saybrook's bedroom on a vine or whatever, did you have an arrest warrant or anything?
I was prevented from getting a warrant.
Oh, so you acted illegally. I'm sure you were around the police force long enough to know that any evidence to support your claims of false imprisonment or kidnapping are fruit from the poison tree. They're inadmissible.
Get him up here, under oath. He knows what he did.
No more questions, Your Honor.
You may step down, Mr. McBain.
Hey, Judge, for the record, if I had the chance, I'd do it all over again.
Your Honor, I submit that if this case goes to trial, even if we could find people who didn't know the details of the case, even if it resulted in a guilty verdict, there is simply too much wrong with the people's case. A guilty verdict would be reversed on appeal.
Ms. Hannon?
Your Honor, Dr. Saybrook has no memory of her life before a few months ago. If she did, she would have died before she let Todd Manning take her to his house. She would have used any means at her disposal to get away from him. And under no circumstances would she ever have let him touch her. When Mr. Manning kept the details of their history from her, it was as if he tied her to that bed that she was too weak to leave. Thus, the charges of kidnapping and false imprisonment. But people feel very confident. They're certain, in fact, that we can make this case a trial.
Your Honor, before you rule, I would like to question Miss Saybrook again.
No.
Let's see if she really was being held against her will.
Okay, no. I have already explained that, and Dr. Saybrook has been through enough.
Well, I agree, but her testimony in this regard is important. I'll allow it.
Maybe you will, Judge, but I won't.
Mr. Manning, you are the defendant. I am the judge. This is my courtroom. Please remember that.
What are you doing?
You want to see this idiot judge see me freak out and put Marty on the stand?
You were good to her, Todd. When you found her, she couldn't walk. Now look at her. Don't you want people to know that you did that for her? Don't you want them to know that you never meant her any harm? That makes
Dr. Saybrook, please take the stand.
What am I supposed to do?